Hi, John. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Um, are you joining this afternoon for the South Outer geography presentation, or were you interested in Northeast Inner?
Northeast Inner.
Northeast Inner. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, we
And
are.
I clicked on the wrong box.
Oh no, you're here. You're in the correct one.
Okay,
Um,
good.
we presented on Northeast Inner from 11 to 12,
Hmm.
and from 12 to 1 we were going to transition to the South Outer geography. But right now, since it's just you and I, what I can do is answer any questions you may have about the Northeast Inner geography. Um, I will say the we have two different presentations. The beginning of the presentations are fairly consistent and just an overview, but then the end of the presentation is tailored to the geography that we are speaking to. So, like I
Okay.
said, at 12 we were supposed to switch to South Outer, but if it's just you and I don't mind discussing Northeast Inner with you for a few minutes, and we can just see if anybody else joins and um, if someone else joins, we'll have to honor the South Outer geography time slot. But what I can offer is office hours, and you can have a very similar one-on-one conversation with staff at another date in the next coming weeks, if that's okay.
Okay. I'm a bit confused. I thought I clicked on the one for
It is a little confusing. So
no, Northeast Inner. That's what I thought I clicked on. Did I click on the
yes,
wrong one?
no, you're in the correct room. We just split the time. So from 11 to 12, we were discussing Northeast Inner, and from 12 to 1,
Oh,
we will be discussing South Outer.
I'm
However,
sorry. I missed the whole.
it's okay. It's okay.
I don't
No
know how I
worries.
did that. I was.
No worries at all. It is very confusing. We're just trying to accommodate as much information as we can in a short time period. So I know that's a little bit confusing in terms of a setup. Um, but I guess I'll just, again, while it's you and I don't mind speaking to Northeast Inner for a few minutes. If you have any questions that you wanted answered this afternoon, or if you were just coming for a general overview, again, since it's you and I'll defer to you on what you're most interested in hearing about today.
Well, since you're going to show up a program about Southeast, which is I consider it a foreign country. I grew up in Charlotte. I came in
hmm
1964,
hmm
and anything south of 51 was open country. Now I don't recognize it anymore. Uh,
Completely understood.
my big question is about the Shamrock Drive project. Years ago, they talked about doing things with Shamrock Drive between Eastway and Shamrock Garden School. All I've seen they do was cut down some trees.
Okay. Let me um let me pull up a
I've
map.
heard nothing about it. They talked about putting a traffic circle behind Garinger High School and one at Ann Street, which I think is insane. But I don't know. When I talk to the people, I ask, well, what do you do about Shamrock and the Plaza? And they said, oh, that's not part of the plan.
Hmm. Well, let's just see. Again, while it's you and I absolutely don't mind looking into that area in a little bit more detail, just to make, I know you're here and we appreciate you being here. So, um, we don't have anyone that is interested in South Outer
Okay.
specifically yet. So I'm happy to look through this area with you.
You can find the Charlotte Country Club. You'll get in the area.
Okay. Bear with
Shamrock
me.
and
My,
Eastway and Shamrock.
okay. Bear with me. I'm so sorry. My computer is moving slow. Um,
Yeah, there's Shamrock Drive, the little dog
yes.
leg it does behind Garinger High School at Elmwood.
Hmm, I'm not seeing the exact area.
Well, could I show you with my mouse? Is that possible?
Um,
Well, if you look at the intersection of Shamrock and Eastway
hmm
at Frontenac, that's
hmm
where it's supposed to start and moved. move to the left. Then it does a real hard turn behind Garinger High School. And it comes down. Uh, no, you're scrolling off the screen here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryan. I'm trying to navigate, and my computer's also being slow. Um, what I can offer, how about since we have other participants that have joined for the South Outer presentation,
Okay.
do you mind if I offer office hours for you? This will be an opportunity for you to meet with staff one-on-one, and you can sign up for any time slot you would like. And for the others on the call, that might be general information that would be helpful. We're hosting them every Tuesday and Thursday for the next few weeks, and you can sign
And
up for.
these are all on Zoom.
They will be on Zoom. We can also accommodate in person if you would prefer. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Um, And I absolutely value your question, Mr. Bryan, but I just think it would be helpful for us to chat one-on-one and kind of
Okay.
dig into that area in more detail. And, we want to respect the 12 to 1 p.m. time slot that was allotted for South Outer, given that we have other
Mm,
participants. But
no,
please,
I made a mistake here.
it's okay. No.
I misread it. I thought my time was 12 to 1.
No, absolutely understand. But I really encourage you to sign up for those office hours via the link in the chat. There's plenty of opportunity, and we will be more than happy to dive into any area of specific interest in more detail.
Okay.
And you're welcome to stay for South Outer, like I said, the beginning, and for everyone, the participants that we have on the call, the beginning of this presentation is kind of an overview of the community area planning process in general. And then the end of the presentation is tailored to the South Outer geography. So
Okay.
you're welcome to stay, Mr. Bryan, if you would like.
Okay.
Um, so with that being said, welcome everybody to the South Outer Geography Room. I'm going to go through a few slides and then open it for questions and any concerns that you guys want to share with us. So I'll go ahead and start the presentation. Um, so the reason for developing these community area plans is because Charlotte has been continuously growing for decades, and it's projected to keep growing. So, in response to this projected growth, our city adopted the Charlotte Future 2040 Comprehensive Plan in 2021, which defines our 20-year vision for growth and change in Charlotte. So, the plan essentially calls for future growth to benefit as many people as possible. While the comprehensive plan provides the broad vision for our community, there are other levels of guidance that are needed to make this vision come to life. So on the screen here, you can see the planning framework that was adopted within the comprehensive plan, and it identifies the subsequent levels of guidance that are needed throughout the city. So level 2 on the screen, strategic plans. These are citywide documents that provide more details than the comprehensive plan on any particular topic. So for example, the strategic mobility plan that is a CDOT effort that provides more guidance on how to realize Goal 5 of the comprehensive plan, which speaks to creating safe and equitable mobility choices. And then level 3 of this framework is the community area plans that we're discussing today. So the intent of these plans is to provide more guidance for the appropriate land uses, building form, and infrastructure that is needed throughout the plan geography. Level 4 is what we're calling specific plans, and these focus on smaller geographies and provide more guidance for the implementation of specific geographies. And it's really important to note that level 2 through 4, they all build upon the vision of the goals outlined in the comprehensive plan. So, community area plans, these are essentially about creating complete communities, which means creating places that integrate housing, job opportunities, and daily goods in an accessible manner. So, in other words, live, work, and play. Community area plans, they were developed with a 5-phase process that has occurred over 2 years. So staff has offered multiple engagement opportunities in each of these phases, and the outcomes of each phase have been shared along the way. This slide here, it really just summarizes the engagement efforts from phase one through phase four of the effort. So we've reached over 400,000 residents, both online and in person, using a range of constant and coordinated tactics. This includes tactics such as social media posts, our website, and any of the online interactive content that we produced, like story maps, videos, things like that. And while the virtual interactions are great, we still really value in-person interactions, and we've been able to interact with 6,000 people from phase one through four. Um, for this particular planning effort, the community area plans, we've hosted 50 workshops in which we asked residents to join us, but we also made an effort to meet people where they are by attending meetings, festivals, libraries, things like that. Um, and then you can see our geographic dispersion of our in-person interactions on the map to the right of the screen. And through phase one through four, we've received 1,700 comments that have helped shape the draft plans. I'd also like to mention that this engagement builds upon the feedback received through the 500,000 interactions during the comprehensive plan development and the 6,000 interactions received during the policy map engagement. So the plans were developed using a systematic process, meaning they were all developed in the same way and they had the same components and format within them. But while they were developed systematically, each plan includes unique content that reflects the individual character of that geography, as well as some new common policy guidance that helps to achieve the vision. So these plans provide a common set of considerations for all decision makers to ensure that we're consistently evaluating options in line with the city's vision. And over time, these considerations will help ensure that growth is accommodated in a way that will respect established neighborhoods, align growth with infrastructure capacity, and create vibrant mixed-use centers for all. So now is the portion of the presentation where I'll jump into the South Outer plan in a little bit more detail. So you can see on the screen here the table of contents within the South Outer Community Area Plan. And if you look at other plans, you'll see it is the same content and organization, just certain information is tailored given the needs of each geography. So each plan begins with an overview of the area's profile, including a summary of projected residential units and new jobs, as well as a comparison of local demographics to citywide demographics. The next chapter outlines the geography's greatest needs and prioritized goals. Needs are focused on increasing access to housing choices, job opportunities, daily goods and services, and reducing environmental impacts. So the plans focus on these four needs because these are metrics identified in the comprehensive plan as paramount for ensuring future growth benefits as many people as possible. The 10 comprehensive plan goals were linked to these four metrics, and if a metric scored less than 5, the associated goals were identified as priorities for the geography. And the caveat here is, of course, all goals are important, but this prioritized list will really help prioritize dollars and resources. Chapter 4 of the plans focus on recommended development patterns for the geography. So the colors on this map here, they relate to the type and intensity of development that is appropriate within the area. And to learn more about these colors, you can reference the place type descriptions, and those are located in the appendix of the community area plans. It's important to note here that the plans recommend a large portion of this geography remain as is, meaning if redevelopment occurs in this area, and most areas throughout the city, honestly, then new development should really match the scale and intensity of the development on the ground today. So the South Outer Plan recommends that 20% of the area evolve into a different type of development than what exists today. And this targeted amount of change will help accommodate our projected growth in a way that respects established neighborhood, pairs growth with infrastructure capacity, and creates mixed-use centers, which will help increase access across Charlotte. Other pages in chapter 4, they really explain how the recommended changes that do exist in the geography, how they help advance the geography's priority goals and address its greatest needs. So chapter 5 of the plan, supporting the vision, it includes 5 sections and references the neighborhood toolkit. So the neighborhood toolkit is included within the appendix because it's a reference guide for all geographies. A little bit more about the toolkit. It really catalogs all of the great programs that are currently available to residents to help address their needs. So the intent here is that it can be a resource to empower neighborhoods that would like to take action. So an example here would be the toolkit. It will outline existing programs that neighborhoods could tap into if they were interested in amenitizing a common open space or creating a neighborhood park. That would be a really great resource for residents to look to for programs that already exist through the city to help achieve that goal within their neighborhood. The mobility section of the area plan, it was developed in coordination with CDOT, CATS, and CRTPO. So those are our mobility partners and city departments and divisions that deal with mobility and transportation. This section really restates Goal 5 of the comprehensive plan, which states that safe and equitable mobility is important across Charlotte. This section also includes a clip of the citywide streets map, which outlines the future cross section for arterial streets in Charlotte. And then smaller streets are informed by the UDO. This section also summarizes the city's strategic mobility plan and highlights strategic investment areas. And I'm happy to go into more detail on either of those projects once we wrap these slides up. Um, Next, within the mobility section, it includes a new level of guidance called the mobility assessment. So that is the table that you see on the right side of the screen here. And this assessment evaluates how well our future mixed use places are meeting our aspirations. So these assessments ideally should be used by all stakeholders, whether it's residents, developers, or city officials, to inform future development and infrastructure projects within the areas. So, for example, if a developer wanted to rezone a site within one of these mixed use locations, they should use this assessment to propose a project that improves any of the conditions that are lacking according to the assessment. And then similarly, community members could evaluate a proposed project against this assessment to determine if the project contributes to the area's aspirations. There are also open space and community character sections within each area plan, and they include a very similar assessment. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go into them in detail because they are essentially the same thing as the mobility assessment. They are just tailored to open space and community character. But I'm happy to go into more detail in a moment. The next section of the plan is environmental justice and sustainability, and it builds upon the comprehensive plan's vision to reduce environmental impacts across Charlotte. So this section provides a more detailed analysis of the environmental impacts within the plan geography. And it also introduces heat impacts as a new environmental metric that should be considered in future decision making. There's also an implementation section in the plan, which provides additional specific strategies for various partners and agencies to advance this work. The implementation section even contains illustrative concepts. So we've provided visualizations for how areas that are recommended for change could evolve over time. There's also a program guide and an appendix for the community area plans, and those are available for your review. And it's really a resource for additional background information that supports the content and the data within the plans. Um, a few quick notes for after adoption of the community area plans. First, the plans are intended to be implemented in multiple ways, as you can see on the screen. Second, community area plans are an important component of Charlotte's planning framework, but they are not the only tool in our toolbox, of course. And then finally, planning is cyclical. So we plan to monitor and update not only the community area plans, but the comprehensive plan every 8 to 10 years. And then before I open the floor up for questions or anywhere that we could dive into more detail, I just want to highlight a few key dates in terms of next steps. So the public comment period for the draft community area plans closes on Friday, the 18th. I'm more than happy to send a link to the South Outer or Northeast Inner community area plans in the chat. And it's a really easy way for you to look through the plans in more detail. And if you do have a comment, you can simply place a pin um, on the document itself, and that will allow you to type your feedback and submit your comment that way. So we will be taking those comments until July 18th, and then staff is being very intentional in responding to the feedback that we're receiving. So if you provide a comment, we will provide a response to your comment specifically, and those will be posted on our project website on July 25th. We will present to the City of Charlotte's City Council Transportation Planning and Development Committee on August 4th. And then City Council's decision to adopt the community area plans is to be determined, but we hope in the near future those will be going before Council to be adopted. And with that, I will pause for any questions, feedback. Again, we're taking comments until Friday, so if someone has a comment that they would like to provide right now, I'm happy to note that comment and log it for you. And again, that will be responded to by staff in a few weeks. So I'll pause there. And Mr. Brian, am I saying that right, Mr. Brian? Brian? Okay. It looks like it's just you and I again, so I'm more than
Really?
happy.
The
Yeah.
South people didn't want to stick around?
I guess they did not. So I am more than happy to answer any questions you had, related to those overview slides, or I can dig into any of that information related to Northeast Inner, or we can go back to your question via the map that we were looking at earlier.
I'd like to go back to the map, see what the
Perfect.
status is on Shamrock Drive.
Perfect. Let me pull that up again.
I think it was before COVID when the city came and made a presentation to our neighborhood association up at the Dilworth Brewing Company, and I didn't get firm answers because they hadn't been worked out. My understanding was.
Okay. Let me navigate, zoom in a little bit. And please forgive me if my connection gets a little bit wonky. Sometimes when I pull this map up, my computer gets a little slow. So I'm going to try my best to avoid that.
Are you
Um,
working from home or from an office there in the city?
I'm in the office in the city,
Okay,
but I'm
I should
working
get a
with,
new computer then.
I'm right, but I'm working with three different screens, and sometimes I think it's a little information overload. Um,
Three screens. I've never seen three screens on a computer, just two.
I have two and then a laptop in front of me.
Oh, you got two computers in front of you. Okay.
Correct. Um, okay, so you were speaking to this area. So here's
It's
Shamrock
below
Drive,
Garinger High School. You
which
see
is
Shamrock Drive there.
right
Your mouse is
here,
right on it.
right
It
here.
takes a hard left turn behind Garinger High School, and then goes down and eventually dead ends on the plaza. But the plan I saw only goes from Eastway to Ann Street, which is in front of Shamrock Gardens Elementary.
Okay.
And as I said, the only action I've seen was they cut down some beautiful trees in front of Shamrock Gardens School.
Okay. Let me see if I can find a map that would have some labels. I apologize. I'm just not as familiar with the area to know where the. Okay, this is Shamrock Garden Elementary
Yep,
School right
that's the
here.
school. Yep, that's the
Okay.
new campus.
And then, so now that we've established that, let me go back to maybe. Oh no. Apologies.
No, computers do what you tell them, not what you want. That's what I've learned over the years.
That is very true. Well, you try to refresh. I apologize, Mr. Bryan.
Well, it's okay. Through COVID, I've practically lived on Zoom for
That's
most
fair.
of the time. You know
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Okay, let me try that again. Let me turn off this layer in hopes that it will not freeze up on us as we zoom in.
Is this some kind of
Okay.
interactive map you've got that will,
Yes.
looking on a street, give you information related to projects planned for that street?
Yes. And what I actually can provide you with is another resource. While you mentioned that, let me pull this up. It's called, are you familiar with the Development Near Me app in Charlotte?
No.
So that might be a really helpful resource for you. Essentially, you can navigate to your area of interest and here, I'll show you. So you can use this website to search an area that you are interested in, and it will tell you the type of development that's happening in the area. It's just kind of a really, I'm not super familiar with it, so I don't want to speak incorrectly, but my understanding
Yeah.
is it's an application that will provide you with some insight as to what is going on in your area in terms of development. Um, so let me turn off
That's
some
the
of these.
URL nearme.charlottenc.gov.
Yes, here, I will drop that in
Okay.
the chat for you.
I'm my screen is filled up to the point I can't I can't access my notepad for some reason. If I try to try this, I can't seem to travel to I can't minimize the Zoom screen.
Oh, to see what,
Yeah, yeah, but it's taking up the whole desktop, and I can't see my taskbar anywhere. Anyhow, let's just see what your version brings up.
sure. I'm navigating to the correct area. Let's see. Here's Country Club Drive.
Yep.
This is the
Sure, that's
school, correct?
purple. Yep, that's school.
Okay, and so if you could just provide me with a little bit more information about what the development entailed to your knowledge or the
It
last you heard.
entailed doing something. This map makes it look like they're widening Shamrock between Eastway and just past Flamingo. And my understanding is they were going to put a traffic circle there between Flamingo and Springway behind Geringer, and then another one at Ann Street. And
S-
I
So it looks
and they show like a little bit wide going up to as far as Atterbury and then just kind of petering out. Right now, uh, Shamrock dead ends on the plaza, and your only choice is to turn right. But I have neighbors who've been here since the 50s, and they said there used to be there was a light there, and you just cross the street.
hmm
But when they built the bridge, the 30th Street Bridge between North Tryon and the plaza, they moved the light to Matheson in the plaza because it used to be you could go left or right or go straight into the grocery store.
hmm
And it's a real dog leg. You spend a few seconds on Virginia Avenue, but
hmm
they got this huge project where they've cut Madison Avenue down to one lane each way and putting in these massive bicycle lanes
hmm
between the plaza and North Tryon. So, but
Well,
that's a I assume that's in my area too. I don't know.
yes, I think so. What I can offer is, like I said, I dropped this link in the chat for you, or you can simply search on your own time development near me, City of Charlotte, and it will come
I
up.
just wrote it down in my notebook.
Perfect. So the intent of this application is just to provide community members with some insight as to projects that are happening in the area. So, for example, if we were to click the capital improvement project layer on, you can see that highlights what you were looking at on Shamrock Drive.
Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't show circles though, strangely enough.
if you Yes. If you click on it, whatever the polygon of interest is to you, so I clicked along Shamrock Drive to see what that project entails, and it says it is a storm drainage improvement project.
Oh,
It
oh,
will provide some context about the location, the budget, if applicable, and it will also, a really helpful resource is it will provide you with the project manager's contact information. So if you had additional questions or concerns, that would be the appropriate
so this
contact.
project is still in the air, to be
Um,
determined. Okay, what
and
about
then in terms of rezonings, it does not look like there's anything major in this area that you were
no?
speaking to. Other development projects, south of the school, it looks like there is uh, some development that will be occurring with the country club.
Yeah, they're doing they're building some structures there roughly across the street from the school.
Yes, so that,
I don't know what they are, if they're building a new ping pong table court or what. The
mhm,
country club does not communicate with the surrounding neighborhoods, as far as I know.
mm, mm,
They're this void between Plaza Midwood Country Club Heights and Mary Oaks.
mhm. Um, Understood, understood. Just, to put it simply, I feel like this is a really good resource. If you did have any questions about any potential or any project that is upcoming for an
Okay,
area that you're
all
interested
right.
in, I don't
I'll
see
check out that
anything.
site then.
In terms of the specific area that you were speaking to in the beginning of this meeting, I'm not seeing anything, and I don't mean to fall short on that answer. I just am not aware of anything off the top of my head, given my department or my division really deals with the future land use, applicability and things like that. So I don't have a ton of information
Yeah,
on
that would not
existing
be your area.
developments.
Okay.
But this is a great resource for you. If
Would
you
this include Department of Transportation projects?
um it
I don't.
will not, I
I,
don't see that on the legend. I see capital improvement project, but another resource for you if you were interested in transportation projects, I will drop a link to our other mapping application, which is called Charlotte Explorer. And that mapping application will allow you to see any type of street improvement project. We have a Charlotte Streets map that kind of provides some guidance for the future of um, the city's road network. That is an effort that is being done through the Charlotte Department of Transportation. So again, I'm not the subject matter expert, but that information can be found via that link in the chat.
I'm
I
writing
will,
this down here.
of course, I'll also provide you
And
with one.
if I could bring up my notepad, I could copy and paste into that, but I can't get into that right now.
I know we're both having technical difficulties today, aren't we?
If this URL is charlotte.nc.us as opposed to charlotte.nc.gov.
Mm,
Bit confusing.
I do
And I'm
understand
trying to.
that. I'm more than happy to
You
send
can
you
send me
these
an
links
email.
via
Is that
email.
possible?
It is, absolutely.
Just pull that in
Um,
an email.
I can do that. You registered for this meeting, so we'll have your email address. So once
Yes.
we finish, I'll make a note to myself to follow up. I'll send you, I'm still happy to send you the office hour registration information in case you would like to join office
Yes.
hours at a later
That'd be good
date.
too.
I will send you the development near me application link. I will send you Charlotte Explorer so you can flip through those layers as you see fit. And I'm also going to send you something called the Charlotte Streets Map, which we do highlight in the community area plans.
Yeah.
Um, but this is their website and their link to that application. So I'll send that as well as the Northeast Inner Community Area Plan if you would like that as well.
Hmm.
That way you don't have to try to copy and paste or try to write down all of the URLs. Okay. Apologies. Thanks for your patience. I was just noting everything that I need to send you via email.
All
And I'm
right.
more
Thank
than
you so
happy to do
much.
that. Of course.
All right. Thank you, Miss Henson. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for joining.
Okay, have a good day.
You too. Good afternoon, Jalen.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I believe, were you in the room earlier?
I was. I had to just step away real quick. Are you guys done?
Yeah, we pretty much
Okay.
wrapped up. I think you stepped away at the perfect time. It was the last slide.
Yep.
So I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have or log any feedback that you wanted to provide today.
Okay. I think honestly, I think the best thing for me is gonna be because so essentially I plan on moving to the area soon.
Hmm.
So just wanted to see what was going on in that southern outer area
Uh-huh.
near, and correct me if I'm wrong, this would be an area, or this would be the breakout session if I wanted to move close to or near that North Carolina, South Carolina borderline.
Correct. I will
Yeah.
pull up a map just to confirm
Okay.
that I'm thinking of the same place you are, but
Mhm.
I believe you are correct.
And before you started, I heard you talking to another individual about just scheduling the time via Zoom, just to talk with planning or zoning.
Yes.
I think that may be the best case scenario for me as well. So,
Absolutely. So while we're on that topic, I will drop a link in the chat if that's an appropriate way for me to provide you with information
yeah.
on how to sign up for those. We're calling them office hours. So we're hosting
Okay.
them every Tuesday and Thursday for the next
Okay.
month or so. So feel free to use that link and sign up for a slot.
Okay.
They're 15-minute increments, but you can sign up for more than one if you feel like you would need more time, and it would be a one-on-one. Or there might be a few other staff members, but
Okay.
a really good opportunity to speak to staff and get specific questions answered as well.
Yep. Okay.
Um, and then just to make sure, so this particular presentation was focusing on South Outer, so that's this area down here, and this is South Carolina, this is Fort Mill,
Uh-huh.
and the South Carolina state line is right here.
Uh-huh.
So there's a few geographies that would kind of border South Carolina,
Right.
but yes, Southwest Outer, South Middle, and South Outer would definitely be those areas I believe that you were referring to.
Yep. So in this session specifically, and correct me if I'm wrong, you covered the South Outer. Did you cover South Middle a little bit at all?
No, I did not. There's
Okay.
another room dedicated to South
To
Middle.
that one. Yep, yep, yep.
Um, it would be the room that's abbreviated SM, but I'm more than
Okay.
happy to drop a link to not only this area plan, but also South Middle in the chat as well, so that you can look through those draft documents. Um,
And could you also drop the Southwest outer as well,
Absolutely.
please? Okay, and that'd be perfect.
Absolutely. And you should be able to, once you navigate to one of those links, you should be able
Yeah,
to poke through all of the
get
area
to the
plan
other one.
documents via the tabs at the top of the page.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me just pull these up real
Absolutely.
quick. Okay, yep, and I got them. I got them.
Awesome.
Yep, that's
Uh,
that's really all I have so far.
Okay.
Thank you so much again.
Of
Thank you, thank
course.
you.
Of course. Yes. Happy to
Uh,
help. And feel free, like I said, to sign up for any of those slots for office hours. And if there's a specific area you want to ask questions about once you kind of dig through the plans in more detail, we're more than happy to sit down with you about that.
Okay. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jalen. Have a great day.
How are you as well?
Thanks.